an XYZ company, for example, right? In that company, they have accountant, they have lawyer, they have front desk, they have the engineers, the IT department, and all of that. But as creatives, what a lot of us do is that we run everything. We are the accountant, we are the lawyer, we are the engineer, we are pretty much everything. How do you think your business is going to function at the end of the day? Having a team is not rare. See a photographer that comes with 3, 4, 5 people, and you're like, this guy is a big boy. They're actually trying to put a structure together to make their business more sustainable. You should actually think in that line as well. There's no building that was built by one person. When you are very certain of your expenses, there are some prices that clients will call. You will never take. It just doesn't work.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is John Jodola and I'm the founder of LensMEET. LensMEET is the creative community that helps to foster and accelerate collaboration. And in this video series, we'll be having industry leaders talking to you about their experiences, things that they've learned over the years, and I hope you enjoy this video as you watch.
Right, I'm talking about budgeting and a lot of other things. So first of all, I'm going to be asking a couple of questions, and my session is more on the financial aspects, right? So this session is going to be very practical. I want us to tell ourselves the truth. All right. So first of all, like, how many people know how many people run a business right now? Like, you run a photography business or a creative business or something, right? All right. So in everybody that is running a business, how many of you can confidently say that you know how much it costs to run your business every month? Can I see your hand? All right, the hands have reduced. All right, so there's a gap in between, right? I'm going to ask a couple of more questions. Now, adding that to what I just asked, right? So we have, how many people know how much profit they make on each job or on each from each client? Do you get? So for example, someone calls you today, how much do you charge? And then they explain what they want to do, and you give them like a fee. In that fee that you're giving them, how much of that, like, do you know is your profit? Or is it that when the money comes in, all the money belongs to you? How many people can ascertain their profits from the amount that they are being paid, right? Okay, all right. So based on some of these reactions, I think I'm just going to assume that a lot of us have like a finance gap, like a finance knowledge gap in running our businesses. And one thing I'm going to say is it's not that tedious, it's not that serious, right? You just need to know, you just need to be more frugal, and you need to understand that you are different from your business, especially as creatives, because you're most likely the engine of the business. You tend to reward yourself based on that, right? So for example, you're a photographer, and then someone books you for a job. You handled the photo shoot, you did all the stress, you transported yourself to the place, and then at the end of the day, you are paid X amount of money, right? So the expectation is that that money belongs to you. However, that's not true, because like the style infidels said, right? If you want to run a business that is going to outlast you, if you want to run a sustainable business, you actually can't run your business like that. You have to, and that's why the corporate environment, they always see us like jokes, because there's more structure in what they do, and things are more standardized. Like, you see a lot of people working together as team, management, there's a structure for different aspects. So for example, before I even get into the budgeting, right? So how many people also know that we have a competency gap, right? So for example, let's say an XYZ company, for example, right? In that company, they have accountant, they have lawyer, they have front desk, they have the engineers, the IT department, and all of that. But as creatives, what a lot of us do is that we run everything. We are the accountant, we are the lawyer, we are the engineer, we're pretty much everything. How do you think your business is going to function at the end of the day? I know the conversations going around for creatives is more along the lines of, oh, be better at your craft, do what you need to do, make sure you improve your processes and all of that. But to be honest, you also need to understand that you cannot do it alone. Like, it's not just possible. So, and sometimes when you start to think of that, when you start to think of like having a team is not reps. You see a photographer that comes with 3, 4, 5 people, and you're like, this guy is a big boy. It's not reps. It is actually, you know, they're actually trying to, put a structure together to make their business more sustainable. You should actually think in that line as well. There's no building that was built by one person. If you see a building standing, there were different factors involved. There was an electrician or an electrical engineer. There was a civil engineer. You see artisans all over the place. Like, you don't see one person, to erect a structure. So if you want to put something that is going to last, right? I would say that you always having a team is not optional. It is not something that you do as per okay, maybe when I clock 4 years in the industry and I start making some money, then maybe I'll start gathering people together. No, that is not the case. So that being said, let me now get right into what I have to say. But I'm going to be very fast because I still have to. But you need to get into this my session because there are some things that will come up in between. All right. So understanding financial health. Right. So let's talk about budgeting. This is the how many people have budgets till the end of? Wait, no pressure. This is not social media. So if you don't have budgets to the end of the year, I would like you to do that because as a business owner, right, and that's what I'll keep calling you throughout my session. As a business owner, you need to know how much you're likely to make. Do you understand? If you productize your craft, right? You're a photographer, for example. You're a wedding photographer. How much do you charge per wedding? How many weddings would you likely shoot in a month? Let's say you charge 1 million naira per wedding. You shoot 4 weddings. That's 4 million naira. If you multiply 4 by 2, there's no magic that wants to happen in this world. It is 48 million naira that you are going to make at the end of the year. So there's nothing like, oh, this year I received my house, or this year I'm going to buy G-Wagon. Like, it's just 48 million naira that you're going to have in your account at the end of the year. Meaning that if you're not seeing ahead, you're not going to be able to plan ahead as well, right? So what do you do in that scenario? If you want to increase your revenue, then you need to start thinking, oh, okay, if I don't want to make 48 million naira, this is just an example. It's not as if the money is anyway. So if you're going to make 48 million naira at the end of the year, right? If you want to make 60 million, then it means that two things: either you start charging more than 1 million per wedding, or you start doing more than 4 weddings a month. Can you see how help plan? So finance numbers actually are very, very interesting. Numbers do a lot of good for people. They help with research. They help to make like very, very structured decisions with what it is that you do. All right. So that's that about budgeting. So think about it. Think about these things. Of course, if you have questions for me, you can just scan the QR code. Right. Then common financial mistakes. How many people know that? Okay, so I've talked about difference between revenue and profit, right? So it's not all the money that comes into your business. I know the economy is hard. You don't want a situation where you're trying to set up a studio and all the money and someone just pays you the money that can pay your rent, and then you just take everything and then rent, right? Forgetting that, okay, you have not even done the job. They only just paid you. And you're still going to do that's why some people don't deliver, because what is going to take you to effectively do that job, you've already spent it. You can't even contract people. So for example, I have people that edit for me. Sometimes I edit when when I'm not as busy as some seasons, but I have people that edit for me. But I'm going to have to pay editor. Do you get what I'm saying? But if I've spent all the money that someone paid me, how will I pay editor? Do you get what I'm saying? So all of these things are considerations. Like you need to actually not make some. Or can anybody else, tell us about common financial mistakes that people make? You can raise your hand. It's a financial class, and it's very interactive.
Anybody? Not separating your business money from your personal finances.
Yeah, true. We had talked about that as well, right? Another common mistake, financial mistake that people make, right, that they don't have financial cushion. What are financial cushion? Financial cushions that like savings, investments, and of course emergency funds, right? So as a creative, do you save, or you look at all your money at the end of the year? It can buy maybe an 85 1.2. Sorry, if you're not a photographer, 85 1.2. As you're hearing that money, just be hearing money. It's money. That's what it means. So, like the last money in your account, that's what it can buy. And then you're like, okay, let me buy the lens. I'll drink Gary. No, that's not how to live. Oh, like you can't raise a family like that. Except think about your life. Like, okay, if I'm less than 30 right now, it means that in the next 10 years, my life is going to radically change. I've gotten married. What exactly are you going to like the way you are doing right now? If you continue like that, like how exactly is your life going to be? What would the quality of your life be? Right? Because I see a lot of people that just spend money carelessly on. I think that might actually be better. So I see a lot of people that just carelessly spend money on, and it's not just gear, to be honest. I know it's we now being a creative is such like an interesting thing to be in the society now. So you see creatives, spending money on, their outfits, their gadgets, and so many other things. But sometimes before you do that, just make sure that you see these financial cushions are already set in place. You have savings. You have, if our parents did not do all these things, there's no way that they would have been able to send us to school. Do you get? And there's no way that people like us would now be able to have some confidence to still do some other things, right? So I think that we should also consider that, when you're thinking of budgeting and thinking about your finances as a creative. I hope we're learning something. All right. So breaking down a budget, right? So we have fixed costs, we have variable costs. So just think of your expenses. What are your fixed costs? You have rent. You have, okay, you've gotten a gear, so you're not going to buy another gear um, uh, anytime soon, so to speak. So that's like a fixed cost. That's something you spend at once, right? You need to consider those type of costs and also plan for it. So for example, let's use the 1 million naira example again. So you know that, okay, if at the end of the year it's 48 million that I'm going to make, right? You already know that Lightroom and Photoshop subscription. Sorry, I'm a photographer, so I'm using photography example. So you can just use it for yourself. You already know that Lightroom and Photoshop subscription is likely going to be $120 at the end of the year. You subtract that. So you keep doing all of that. That's why when you are very certain of your expenses, there are some prices that clients will call you will never take. It's not even pride. It means it just doesn't work. Just the way you talk to an artisan, maybe a carpenter or something, or a mechanic, and you tell them, "Oh, come and fix this thing for me," and they tell you materials is 100,000. If that thing is true, cannot go lower. They cannot use their own money to buy materials for you. It's not possible. Do you get? And so you as a creative, because you are not buying materials, You have to think of your expenses, your fixed costs, your variable costs, and all those things as material or whatever that you call that, right? So that's how to think about it, and that's how to see yourself running a proper business. All right. Um, yeah. So then also tracking of income, right? How do you send invoices to people? Do you know how much you made last year? If it's not that maybe you need to apply for a visa, do you know what your last 6 months statement is? Do you get? Just download it and see. You will see that a lot of money has passed through your hand. You will not believe it. I'm serious. Just open your bank app right now and request for 6 month statement. You will see that money has passed through here. Do you get? So you need to actually be more conscious of your expenses. Like, where is this money going to? There's something my pastor will say. We know your priorities when we look at what you're spending money on. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, what's really your priority as a business person? If it is business that is making that money, right, then the priority of that money should also be mostly the business. I'm not saying you should not live your life, right? But the priority of that, because you're still young. There are businesses now. Imagine Jimovia started Zenith Bank with 20 million naira. I know that was a lot of money back in the day, quite all right. But now, can you compare that to them having assets of over $30 billion? No. Do you get what I'm saying? And if you even convert, net worth of Zenith Bank on its own to Naira now, it still doesn't make sense. It doesn't equate what they started with. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm sure the guys suffered a lot at the beginning. They didn't just do things anyhow. They didn't just squander all the funds that was coming in, and they did proper planning, right? Of course, I'm not going to really use corporate environment as examples because those guys do things differently, right? But I feel like there are a lot of things that we can actually emulate from them. A lot of us, we don't like 9 to 5. That's why we are creative. But truth be told, there's a lot to learn from the 9 to 5 system. Because those guys, before you do anything, you sign, there's approval, you raise requisition. I did IT at a company one time, right? I was an electrical facility assistant, right? So I studied electrical engineering, and we had machines that were bad. It was a cable company, and sometimes, you see money that is coming into the company, and you're like, if you take 0.5% of your revenue, you change all the machines in this company. But the auditor will tell you it's not in the budget. We don't have money for it. So it will now be on us, the maintenance crew, to be fixing. Anytime machine breaks down, we'll fix it. We'll repair it. Then it will break down. Maybe every day it will be breaking down. That's why they are paying our salary. It will be breaking down almost every week. Do you get? Until maybe 3, 4, 5, they know that machine has done its return on investment before they can even dream of changing, one of it or two of it, right? So, and I learned a lot from that. I'm like, okay, if I buy a camera today, am I buying it because it's trending? Or am I buying it because this is the next thing that I need to do? Like, I need my work to improve. So I need to balance what I'm saying, all right? There are some people that at some critical points in their career that it is the gear that they need to improve their work. The solution to that, I'll tell you, is to just rent. Just rent. It will cost you about 20K or 30K to rent a very, very good camera. Instead of carrying 3-point-something million and tying it down because you want to be the next happening person, right? There are some people that make a lot of money and can afford to buy all these things, whenever they like, right? But I'm going to say that you are better off renting until your work is going to change immediately. The quality of your output is also going to improve, right? But until you are certain that your business can afford it, and you can buy it 2 times or 3 times over. For example, if you go to Computer Village or wherever, Aroloya, buy a new camera today. On your way back, they rob you. You know that you still have money to go back to Aroloya that afternoon and buy another one before you can even think of, maybe it might be time to change some of these things. I don't believe in the concept of when I buy something, then I'll now drink Gary. Do you get? Yeah. Anyway, let me speed on now because I need to finish up. Okay, so but I'm just gonna ask, right? So if you actually want to appear, someone talked about branding, and I think it's crucial, right? I think it was Tomiwa or something, right? And Hilda, like there's a way you send rate card to people, and they will believe that if I pay this person this money, that's the first time they will ever see that money. Do you get? So to brand yourself well, like have a rate card that people will see and like.
Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and send to all your friends. See you in the next video.